Space Media. As usual, we are always here for a good time. Let me start by wishing all our dear viewers a happy Women's Day. It's indeed a great one that we come together to at least recognize the gender woman. And today, it's what our discussion will basically be all about. We join the entire world in celebrating the International Women's Day globally, and under the theme Breaking the Bias, together with the UN theme that goes Gender Equality for a Sustainable Tomorrow. Now, this brings us into questions. What are the bias? What are the extent to which gender equality is right about now? Thank you so much. Before I move further, I want to start by letting you know today Space Media is partnering with Kektil Uganda, the only center for developing youth leadership in the country. And together with them, I have representative from Kektil Uganda as well that shall be joining us into this discussion this very afternoon. As my name goes, Abola Hilary Makwa, I'm the host for this discussion. And before we go further, I think we should start by knowing who is in the building, whom are we expecting to hear from. So I'll begin with this being the Women's Day. The ladies shall go last because it's an honor for them. Let the gentlemen tell us who they are. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much, moderator Hilary. First of all, I have to say thank you so much for inviting us for this talk show. It's a privilege to be invited into this platform to speak about women and the kind of people that they are and their contribution to this world. My name is Shannon Obala, and I am a gender scholar, and I'm so happy to be here. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. My name is Daniel Omara, and I'm a gender activist, but more or less a legal feminist. So I'm so happy to be in this place, and I'm so happy to be part of this discussion. I believe we are going to have a lot to talk about, given the fact that we have the ladies in the building.
Definitely.
You know, at times it's a little new for women to get involved in discussions of gender, but where the world has reached right now, the men are taking over in an aspect of gender equality. So I'm not going to say much, we can have much more of discussion. So thank you all.
Hello, good afternoon. I am so much humbled and honored to be on this platform. I don't know how much I can say, but I'm surely excited. Thank you so much, Space Media. I am again Gloria, and yeah, sometimes I call myself Miss Original. I am okay with being called Miss Original, and I am here today. We are going to talk about why the Women's Day. Yeah, I am proud I'm a woman today. I'm proud people are celebrating me today. Yes, so that is basically it for now. I'll come in with more.
A very good afternoon to you, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Precious Auma. I'm General Secretary of Kektil Uganda, and a happy Women's Day to all the ladies out there. We are here to celebrate you, and let's have fun in this talk show.
Yes, Thank you so much, my fellow panelists. Together with you, I know we shall at least realize something out of this discussion. Well, it's a great pleasure to have all of you, especially the ladies from Cocktail. I'm expecting a lot from you guys. Yeah. Now, over the ages, actually, the civilization had not yet given the gender woman what we call equality. Women have always been looked at as the people who are supposed to take care of home. Their place was gazetted home. In the political aspect and economical world, they had no seat, they had no say, and that, of course, exhibited the highest rate of inequality. So, looking at such, the ladies themselves brought out their cry. Especially, I think it was around the times for women not women emancipation. The time for World War II. That's when the women started fighting, bringing out their say. They were like, why are the men being treated as the masters? And indeed, the men were not just treated, they were the masters. The women were submissive to the men and they had to do as the men do. Handling the issues of the world was left all to the men. And now, this gives us a question mark. How did they come into realizing that, okay, we need to give the lady a chance also to hear what they have to say? Well, so many, humanitarians started joining the campaign, and soon we saw women emancipation come on board. Yes, when women emancipation came, this was, of course, the campaign aimed at least lifting up the level of women in our societies. And the campaign was indeed a success. To me, it was a success because, yeah, it has really realized potential being brought out, and the lady, we have seen the gender woman come out as prominent being that can actually be so much of hope than ignored. So my first question goes unto you. What do you understand by gender equality this special day? I'm going to begin with the gentleman there. Could you please, according to what exactly does gender equality mean to you?
All right. Thank you once again. Gender equality, to me, I think to make our viewers understand best, is first to break down the words, because we have the word gender and we have equality. For gender is just a social construct on how, the society view, a human being. So you are a man because the society or the people view you as that for who you are. So equality is equal opportunity for everyone. So to me, if I put them together, then it means having equal opportunity, both gender, a man and a woman having equal opportunities in the society. So I think that is how I can easily break down gender equality for people to understand.
Yeah. Mr. Daniel, do you have any take on that?
Oh yes, my colleague has mentioned much of it. When we're talking about gender equality, let's first get one to that level of understanding what equality is, and he brought it out: equal access to anything that we are looking at. I'm so happy that for now, I think after this session, it's better for us to go and have a function and a simple party, because we are celebrating 113 years of Women International Day, because Women International Day was first celebrated in 1909, right? And during that time, there were a lot of inequalities that had already started coming up, right? And so these people rose up and then they said, what we have to do is, let us put an aspect where we are going to look at equal access being given to both the men and both the women. If the men are accessing something, why can't the women also do what? Access that very same thing. That is why one feminist called Teresa Macklin rose up and then said, we have to ensure that this Women's Day is brought on ground, so that we can celebrate the success the women are going through. I'm sure right now, if you are to go to any social media platform, whether any function happening today, you'll find that they are celebrating the achievement of the what? Of the women. So according to me, gender equality is purpose. Let equal access be given to all the women, mindless of their gender, mindless of their sex, and mindless of their status. So that's my basic understanding of what gender equality is. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Mr. Daniel, for that. I would wish to hear if the ladies, what the ladies think of gender equality.
As for me, I agree with everything they've said, but I would love to add on something, that gender equality is, yes, for us to be at par with everything that men do. If a man can do this, I can also do this. If a woman can do this, a man can also do that, okay? And then also, from the very beginning of times, let's say from creation, from the creation story, yes, when God was creating, he did not, I don't think God put anywhere that this is what a man is supposed to do and this is what a woman is supposed to do. But in general, actually, the Bible, men or women are called man, regardless of gender. There is nothing like this is female or male or something of that sort. But even in our churches nowadays, we are called men, like dear men. When they talk about men, they talk about women and men. You understand? So gender equality is basically for men to be at par with women in each and everything they do.
Oh, thank you so much. Patience?
Well, it was so amazing to notice that the men know actually more. They know a lot compared to the ladies.
Yes, they do.
Yes. And to bring you to the point, supplementing gender equality, first of all, the word equality, it's derived from the word equal. So gender equality is simply meaning that putting both the women and the men in the same line, not differentiating them. What a man can do, a lady can also do that as well. So that is my supplement on gender equality.
Yes, thank you so much. Now, gender equality, I'm going to narrow it down based on us just putting the men and the women at the same level. Well, that is true. Now, looking at the African aspect, in Africa, I still really believe that the gender equality we are talking about here has not yet been much realized. It has not yet been brought out. I would love to hear what are these cases. First of all, I'll ask Mr. Daniel, could you tell us, like in the African setting, what have been what has always hindered the realization of gender inequality?
All right, thank you. You know, what is the main reason why we are celebrating the Women's International Day? The main reason why we are celebrating this day, it is because we are trying to celebrate the achievement that the women have attained and the women have come out of, right? That is one aspect, and we are celebrating it with a main aim of showing that gender equality should be on ground. So his question he asked in the African setting, you know, there is one thing, that's why I told you partly I'm a liberal feminist, but then I'm going to agree with what the radical feminist said.
The radical feminists, like there's one scholar by the names of Alice Walker, he said the main reason why gender equality still exists in developing countries, of which Africa is a developing what? Nation, right? The main aspect is because of patriarchy. Patriarchy is an aspect where the men tend to dominate more than the what? The women. You find that the children are socialized from childhood and they are made to believe that the men are the what? They are the breadwinners of each and everything. So a child is going to grow up, but the child will be fed with an aspect of dad is in charge of everything, right? That is why if you are to look at an aspect where, let's say, if you go down to a particular community and you find a husband beating a wife, do your research. You will find that his his dad also did what? Beat the mother. And you find that this child grew up seeing this thing, right? So they take it within themselves. So you find that in the African traditional society, the reason why gender equality has existed is because women are being marginalized and they are being put down with an aspect of what? Patriarchy that is on ground. I will not forget to give an idea of what the liberal feminists said. They said another aspect of why gender equality still continuously exists, it is because of the fact that the women are also being socialized to believe that they are what? They are under the men. That is why when a girl child is at home, they are being told that your brother is who? Is your senior. When the dad or the mom is leaving home, they leave the responsibilities in the hand of the what? Of the brother. You find that the lady may be older than the brother, but still the brother is in charge of the what? The lady. So you find that our society has been able to be tamed and socialized to learn that the men tend to dominate the what? The women. And that is one thing that has made gender equality continuously what? Keep prevailing in the different communities that we are looking at. That is something brief I can give concerning the African society in relation to gender equality. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have anything to add on to what he said? Any?
He said good things
Yes.
about gender equality in the African traditional society. Yeah. I'd also love to add something. The African traditional society from the very, very beginning has been marginalizing the women. And okay, this is not something easy to deal with in Africa, but I believe with time, it's slowly going down. At least I am an African and I am from an African family, and trust me, in my family we have boys, and usually it is mostly the girls who are given the better opportunities of these things. Okay, it's not that they are given the better opportunities, but we are also looked at as a priority. You understand? They are not looking at men as they are the best of the things, they can do the best of the things. Yes, even the ladies can do the best of the things. So it is, with the African society, it is, oh my God, I don't know how to say it, but the ladies, oh, I don't know, ladies are looked at as, no, she can't do it. She can't do what a man can do. Like, how can she? How can she be at the side? Like, how can she be heading a family when there is a man? Like, how can she do certain things that a man can do? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. There is proof that we can. I can. Other ladies can. My mom has done it. There are women who have done it. So we also can do the things that men can do, dear Africa.
Exactly. And to add on to that, I also think the mindset created by the ATS, the African Traditional Society, is also a reason as to why there is still that inequality of women in the society. Because first of all, when you take a look at the rural areas and many other parts of Africa, the ladies themselves have that mindset that has already been instilled that they are inferior. They take, for example, when they're supposed to do something, let's take a look at jobs. Ladies are criticizing jobs. I do understand that in this present society, we do have ladies who have taken up office jobs and electricity, building. But then when we take also a look at the other side of it, we see that the ladies themselves have the mind that these jobs are not meant for them, yet we can do it. So the mindset also created, the mindset that has been already instilled by the African society is also that.
Yes, thank you so much. I have a comment from one of the viewers live. He is saying, this is okay, Marcus, thank you so much for commenting. His comment is saying, gender equality won't be achieved very soon, since even the women themselves still believe they are weaker than the men. Now, this is the question going to the ladies. Do you believe you're weaker than the men? And if you do believe, he has outlined the reason why he thinks women believe they are weaker than the men. First one being, they still believe only men to give support in one direction. That is when you ask for support, they will criticize you. That's when he's trying to mean when a man asks a lady for support, they criticize you. So in other words, he believes that the ladies think only the support should come from men. So that creates the inferiority, the sense of inferiority. And that is actually the bias we shall be looking at later on. Then ahead he says, abuse of view. Yeah, sorry, he was adding to that. When a gentleman asks for support from a lady, they call him a fake man. See, blah, 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 all that. Just know they undermine themselves so much. That is a comment from one of the viewers. So, the ladies, do you believe that you are weaker? And if you believe, what would you tell other ladies when it comes to support? I believe he was meaning financial support. Yes.
Personally, when it comes to financial support, I would want to do as much as my man is doing, if at all I have one. I would love to do as much as he's doing. So if my man if today he brings, tomorrow I would love to bring, okay? If today he gives me, tomorrow I would want to give him as much or even more than he has given me. It is not in order for you not to give your man, like to support him financially. If you do it today, if you do it today, even if he doesn't do it tomorrow, it is okay. Feminists are looking at things as women can do. So why would you look at your man to support you one-sided? Like, why? If he does, please do as much as he has done. You do not have to look at as a man, you don't have to look at a man as somebody who is supposed to give you all the time. That is, let me say, it's a backward thinking, you understand? But giving him, supporting him financially is part of gender equality. That is what I can say.
Well, according to me, I am very much equal to the man outside there. All the men here. First of all, I was raised to be strong, and I cannot take myself to be unequal, because I know very well that I am able to provide what a man can do. I can also do it. What he can bring into the family, I can do it as well. However, not in the bad side. You know, getting back to the point of mindset again, very many women outside there see it as a very bad thing when they bring into the family and then the guy does not bring. But let me tell you one thing, ladies out there. You can make your man special. You can bring in whatsoever he brings in. When he doesn't have, come on, bring it out. This is one thing that ladies should really, actually, let me say ladies in Africa, because when we look at the Western world, it is not like that. They are providing for their families. They are raising children. They are sharing with their husbands. They're bringing money into their family. That is now financial support. So it is not only left out to the men out there. We women, we African women should also take the initiative and embrace the fact that we are equal to the men also.
Then I also think
Yes.
it is us, the women, who are failing to really bring this thing of gender equality to point. You understand?
Yes.
Because, okay, look at Valentine's.
Yes.
Women be there expecting and can't wait for him to deliver flowers. Like, what are you waiting for to surprise him with the flowers? Like what? Surprise him. Like, it is for all of us to do. It is not for him to do alone.
Exactly.
Yes, surprise him with the flowers, with the chocolates, just like you are waiting for, you know. Okay, women are so funny, by the way. There are some times when they say, he does not want me to do this, he does not want me to do this, and there are things that they want to be equal with, but there are those that they do not want to accept. They do not want to support men financially, but they want men to always do that for them. You understand? Like, it is, I cannot do that. He has to do it for me. So, but you want to be equal, like you want gender equality. So, how are you going to promote that equality without doing the things that he can do? If he can buy you the flowers, buy him the flowers. If he can ask you out on a date, ask him out on a date. If he hasn't proposed and you know it is right, please do it. Like,
Wow.
why not? If a man can do something, I can also do it. That is what equality is all about.
Yes.
We are not looking at men doing other things and then women doing something.
Yes.
Yes,
Don't confine
the
yourself
minor
in
one.
place.
Okay, we also want we want men to be gentlemen. Oh my God. First, go on.
Yes, thank you so much. Well, they have defended themselves right well. I don't know, Mr. Shannon. Maybe before you go, having defended themselves, one of them is going to take me out for line since they say they can do what they can
That
do.
is very okay. I can do that. That is okay.
Yeah. So I don't know what Mr. Shannon can
Well,
say.
Mr. Moderator,
Yes.
I have been listening to what the ladies have been saying, and it's really quite interesting. But to be honest, we have to zero this equality to what is called gender parity. Because if they say what a man can do, they can also do. It's really broad, you understand? It's really broad to say, if I can do what I can do, she can also do it. Biologically, there are certain things they can't do. That one you need to accept it. Gender parity means we just have to be, with the resources that we have, we should be equal. You understand? And that's what equality is all about. In the powers that they have is the power that I should also have. In the economic sector, in the political sector, and in other, but you can't say that we are also equal when you come to our house. You know, patriarchy has to also somehow be put into the place. So she can't be a man and I can be a woman. No, that can't be, that cannot work. So if she's saying, like for example, in our African setting, they are saying that even if a man delays to propose to you, you go and ask a man, I mean, you just go and propose to the man. To be honest, if one does that in this African setting, then they are going to make news and it's going to be really something. I don't know if anyone has ever done it in the African setting, but the truth of the matter is there are certain things that have to remain, because proposal of marriage is basically in our African setting, yeah, is the man who's supposed to come out to marry. Anyway, unless maybe you're in India, where those things are the opposite, the woman has to propose and pay dowry for the man. But all in all, they were right when they are talking about financial help, because there now we have to be equal. That's where we bring gender parity. And let's not confuse gender parity and emancipation. You understand? Emancipation also has its own disadvantages that is really making the women believe that, like the saying goes, that if a man can do this, I can also do that. There are certain things just absolutely a woman cannot do. There are certain stress that you can handle, but there are certain level of stress that you cannot handle. Especially biologically, I said, if a woman takes certain amount of stress, then you'll be engineered in a way that you don't have the feeling. The biology has said that you can't have feelings. Like, let's say, take an example of women who work let's say, mining sector. They are doing mining. They are doing this hardcore work that needs really excessive energy, digging pits, latrines. By the time you reach your time for marriage, you're not functioning like a woman. That is very true. So let's restrain, or let's zero down the gender equality to just in the economic sector, where if in the office a man can sit in an office and do a certain job, they can also do that same thing. We have women in the education sector. We have women doing, if a man can study, they can also do PhD, they can also do such things. So that's where I think probably gender equality should go in that line, then we can achieve it. So the reason why Okema, the viewer, is saying it cannot be achieved is because now he's bringing us emancipation. Because the women feel
more comments coming in actually.
yes.
But anyway, we can go on. Now we have answered one of the questions or one of the comments. That was just a reaction. I want to take us back to the issue of the bias about the women and in this civilization. For so long, I believe she mentioned something about the Bible calling even women men. That already gives me the first sense of women inferiority. That the Bible actually does not recognize them enough to give them their own title. They just match them to the men. That is according to me. And indeed, we have seen this happening. For example, in the Catholic Church, I've never seen a female priest. It is only the Protestant Church that's trying to bring it up. Also, biblically, I heard of only one prophetess. So, beginning from the biblical aspect to the political aspect, looking at the fact that when you look at most of the heads of states, I can say like ladies are only 10%. I don't know if Africa has any. There's almost none.
Head of state?
Yes.
Tanzania?
Tanzania right now. Oh, yeah.
The wife to Magufuli.
Yeah, the wife to Late Magufuli. Then the economic aspect, we also see very few ladies out there. Now, this is going to make me ask, first of all, can we get to understand what are really these bias that the women are facing? From the men, actually, you can tell us. Or the women also know how they are being undermined by the...
Actually, it should be them telling us.
Oh, well,
This is what they talk about us.
No, we want to first hear.
Yes, yes. Since it's their day and we are presenting them, let's be the first to, we are celebrating them, let's be the first to let them hear, and then they'll back it up, justify or
If it is
dismiss any.
Mr.
Yes.
I would think if it is their day and we're talking about this bias, I think right now we become the defendants because they are the people who know the bias that the society actually speak about them. Then I think it will be prudent for them to go first and say these are the bias they talk about it. And if we know certain biases that we also have, we could say, yeah, I think this is true and that is not true. I think it would be prudent for us to move in that sense.
I have decided the men be the
men
first.
It's
It's the ladies, it's the day for the ladies. So let's swallow our pride.
It's not right. It's not right. Yeah, if you're talking about pride, then you're also being now unequal.
Okay, Mr. Shannon, I think you'll be the first.
Anyway, like my colleague Daniel said earlier on about you asked him about African setting, because this is where everything stemmed up from, you understand? From the time immemorial, she quoted the Bible, women were not allowed actually to be priestesses because of the things that, you know, they go through, the menstrual, because in the old days it was believed to be, you know, unholy and all those kind of things. And so that thing stemmed until right now, and it's still affecting the church, as you say. But in the African setting, or in our society right now, personally, they say a woman cannot inherit. That is still affecting actually the Succession Act right now. You know, the amendment of the Succession Act, they are after just amended. They will say a female heir would actually inherit 1% of the estate, even if he is the first, you know, woman in the house, because they said, according to them, she will be married off, and then where is she going to leave this property to? So they will put the, you know, the next of kin, I mean the next second born or the third born. Let's say a woman, there are two, maybe three ladies born, and then the last born is a boy. These three will not be given, you know, properties of the father, because they say they'll be married off and then they'll have their own things aside. I think that's where now stereotype came from. They cannot, you know, handle properties, so the properties can be put in the male's name. And then the second thing is they cannot be, like now in the political view, they say they cannot make good presidents. Why? I don't know, because they think they can't handle pressure. I don't know why they say that they can't handle pressure. So those are kind of the stereotypes that are coming out and still affecting the political, you know. The previous election, they tried Baby Kamia, but you see, after the rally, they came out and they were having ulcers. And that was the only woman that was having ulcers. The men that were rallying, not eating, they were not having ulcers. So those are the kind of stereotypes, that the biases that were stemming out of the African traditional society. And if you go down there, it's still there. And they say if a man cannot beat a woman, then that man doesn't love the woman. And the women have grown up into that kind of thinking that, this man doesn't actually touch me. If he comes, even if I try to disturb him, he's so cold, he's not a man. You understand? So they believe now in the Karamoja kind of setting. If a man wants to marry a woman, they actually go into a wrestling. It's called, they all call whips. If you are able to beat the woman, you take her. If she beats you, you can't handle her. Then why would you take someone you can't handle? You understand? So I see culture has really brought out more of this stereotype that they are trying to use the law to eliminate certain cultural beliefs, but it's not easy to remove them from the mind of the people, because it is down there too deep that uprooting it is really going to take centuries, and before we can uproot it, it will be the coming of Jesus. Yeah, I think anyone can add from that.
All right. You brought out a point, and there's an element that you brought out quite well. That is culture. When we are to look at this bias, you will find that culture has dominated the highest percent of bringing out this bias.
Very true.
Right? Because if you are to sit down and zero down, you'll find that the reason why women are denied access to some of the production, because in some cultures they actually believe that there is no need of taking women to school. They say, for what? Why are we taking her to school? She will go to school, and in the end of it all, she will get married, and she will take the man aside. Actually, of recent, I happened to attend a function of one of my friends. She graduated from University of Virginia. So when she came back, and they had a session at home, there is one comment the Guardian said. The Guardian said, I've spent my resources to take my daughter to school. I've spent all the money I can. But now, surprisingly, she's going to invest in another family. She's going to get married in what? Another family. So, if at all this was a male child, I think the parents of this girl only had one child. If this was a male child, these resources was going to do what? To remain at home. That means even after educating the child, the person is still doing what? Regretting. Because they believe that women will later on get married and they are going to live. That's why he earlier on said, what is the need of us giving you land? Why would we give you land? There is no need of us giving you land because that land we are giving you afterwards. You're going to get married and you're going to leave it there. If not, you may get married and your husband is going to come and take over the what? The land. That is why I agree so much with what John Stewart Mill said as a liberal feminist. He said that culture has dominated a lot of these things. But then also, if you are to sit down and then look down at our society, you'll find that there is a lot of struggle for resources which are on ground. You find the men are struggling for the resources which are there. The women are also what? Struggling, which creates in place a conflict on ground. You'll find that my wife is working, I am also working. But then there is a slogan the ladies love using. Your money is our money. My money is my money. You see? You see? So earlier on, these ladies were they brought out their point. They said, if I have, I give. If I have, I give. But then we have seen most of those things have ended in theory. Practically, they are not applying. Seriously, practically they are not applying. Actually, she made a good point. Surprise. Purposely, me, I'm so happy if I'm surprised by my lady. For instance, on Valentine's Day, she just surprised me with this t-shirt I'm wearing. See? Yes, so surprise is something that is good. But then still, you will find that, as he said, a woman cannot be the same as a man. It is practically impossible. Because there's one short thing I learned about ladies. A lady, the reason why most of the ladies are not taking up some of these high positions is not because they cannot, but because of that emotional stress they cannot handle. For instance, if you are hurt right now, you're going to react there and then. Right?
No,
Listen. There's one thing I've realized. When a lady is hurt, you'll find that her reaction is not going to be based out of her genuine mind, but out of that anger she's having at that point. That is one thing I've seen about ladies. Then she will later cool down. Yes, you speak.
Okay, it is not about ladies. It is about who we are emotionally. Even men, there are some men who can react immediately and they have not done sense.
I know that, but
it's not about ladies. It is about who we are emotionally. Like me, when I am handling my anger or something, I'm not somebody who gets angry so fast. But even when I get angry, I know how to handle my anger. I know that when I am angry, I need to first take time and calm down, and then when I am in my right senses, I know what to do. You understand?
All right. So here comes my question. If you are the head of the state, how long are we going to wait for you to first cool down your anger?
No, that does not mean I have cut short everything I am supposed to do. If I am supposed to do something and I am angry, that does not stop me from doing my responsibility.
That is why I say my point is purposely based on the fact that when a lady is angered, when a lady is having that stress, there is a way most of the ladies are a little affected by that stress they are having.
Even there are some men who are a little affected.
Of course they are, but then right now I am purposely targeting what? Targeting the reason why some of the ladies are doing what? They are emotionally feeling what? That stress. So
Mr. Omar.
Even the men are oh my God. Even the men act the same way, like some men, some women. You cannot put all of us in the same bracket.
Okay, fine. All right. Okay, fine. Because now, basic line, and as I conclude to throw the ball back to them, because I've seen they have a lot to talk about. As I conclude, I'm going to conclude by saying gender bias is something that has existed for long. But what brings in that? Culture. Because at times you are born for birth. At times people argue and then say, a woman is weak because of birth. No, there is no way. Even Sigmund Freud, when he was explaining his theory, his biological theory, he said the hormones are responsible for how women behave the way they behave. They say, actually he said, the reason why women are weak is because of the estrogen they have in their body. The reason why men are strong is because of the what? The testosterone they have in their body. But as a liberal feminist, I would beg to argue out that. I would beg to critique it. Because me, I think it is the way these people are socialized that is responsible for the bias that exists in the different families and the different setup. That is my point. So let me throw back the ball to them, then we can continue with the session.
Before maybe the ladies come in, sorry for interrupting. There are comments coming in online. Interesting, yes. Let me keep on updating with what is going on. I'm having Mr. Chris still adding in more comment. Then have Wanda Johnson from Wulu Komagum. Yes, she's saying you're not equal, but you can do what men do also. Thank you so much, Mr. Wanda, for that comment. We are having also a lady also. Oh, this is still okay, Chris. He's saying it's about changing the mindset. So something must change. They should feel and think positively and give their might in all they do. But women still have a long way to balance and answer all the questions about gender equality. Because the equality is even better than, sorry, I think he meant equality is even better than the inequality. Oh, I can't understand this point. So a lady is also saying, in Africa is where you find women being described as home materials. Though nowadays we are privileged that men we are trying to fight this in the community, but it is still there. So these are some of the comments coming in. Thank you so much. Keep the comments coming. So as we get back to the discussion, I realized it had gotten heated because, and let us see what the ladies, you have now the opportunity to clear the air and let him know that.
Back to
Interesting. Wow.
You talked of ladies not having that mind of not being able to lead, but I'm personally going to attack you in one way. That one of the bias is also the belief in both men and women's mind that they cannot lead. First of all, let me give you an experience when I was in class one time, because I was the only girl in the history class. There were 10 boys and then I was the only girl. And I was supposed to give an answer, and the teacher told me, for you think less. You don't give enough answers. That is one of the comments that he threw to me. And then what I thought about it was that belief in men's mind and both women's mind, that ladies have a little thinking, how can I say it? I feel even it's offensive, a little thinking capacity compared to a man. How a lady thinks is different to how a man thinks. That is one of the main bias that we are facing in that society today. Because you talked of emotional stress. How sure are you that all ladies outside there that have emotional stress are unable to lead? For example, take an example when she's in the chair, in the office or in the president's seat, and then of course she gets a heartbreak. How sure are you that she's going to react there and then?
Heartbreak. Heartbreak, that is massive. Heartbreak, that is massive.
There are ladies that can cope up with that.
With heartbreak?
Yes.
Seriously?
Yes.
It's a normal thing.
You know, if you can do it, it doesn't mean someone can do it.
If you come to believe that something happens,
Thank
then
you.
are
Believe. If you come to believe, and not everyone is able to have that belief.
And
You
yes,
got the
not
point well.
every man is able to believe that.
Okay, proceed.
Yes.
Yes.
And then also, I would want to, I don't know if you know that, okay, there is this thing that goes around and men are advised to get married, like to marry somebody who is of a lesser age than them. Do you know why?
Reason?
Reason reason being is that men, I mean women, they are thinking, their IQ is, I don't want to offend you. It is higher than that of men. So if you get a woman who is older than you, that means that woman will do what? Will take over you as a man. We are not, as women, like as a woman that I am not looking at taking over the family head issue of my man. Like, if let him be the man of the home, I am a woman. Even the Bible says it clearly. Women, submit to your husbands, and men, love your wives. You understand? So if a man is meant to be a man in the house, let the man be a man in the house. So let's say you have a woman who is older than you, and she thinks better than, okay, not better than you, but her IQ is there. You understand? So that means she is going to look at you like all the time the things are not right. You understand? I don't know if you're getting me.
I get your point, but there is something I want to, let me cut you short. By a lady having a higher IQ, it doesn't purposely mean the lady is able to think more than the man. That is my point, right? Because her point is, the reason why men get ladies who are younger than them is because ladies have a higher what? IQ. But it is not a guarantee that if a lady is older than you and you are younger than that lady, that's no guarantee that this lady is going to be able to have a mindset that you may have. Those are two different things. IQ is quite different from how you are taming your mind.
The mindset of a woman is quite better than that of a man.
It's not like that. The reason
maybe to add on to that,
the reason why they advise men to marry a woman that is a little bit younger, it's because you women tend to just, grow older than the men.
No.
Yes, because
Say in your thing.
no, it's not my
Like,
thinking.
now,
It's not my
yes,
thinking.
it is.
Give 2-3 baths.
we are having I think someone
Give 2-3 baths and see if you remain the same.
You think that men marry younger ladies simply because ladies grow older.
That is
So
not
that's
the
the
thing.
justification.
It is.
for
That is not the thing.
What is that?
Yes.
You said it's a mindset.
Yes.
Then
It's a mindset.
what you bring out of the IQ being higher,
That was the mindset.
that's also
Not a
mindset.
mindset, it is
I think
proven. Like I have done my
it
son.
is
I
by
have
the
always
by
done
who?
it.
It has been proven that a lady, when you get a lady and a gentleman of the same age, the lady mostly has higher IQ than the men. It has been proven.
Yes.
So I don't know what you think about that.
It has been proven, and men cannot. Oh my God.
Okay, wait. What is that unique thing that we have so far seen in a family of? Okay, I don't know. Like, what is that? So, what's that unique thing about that IQ that has made these ladies to be able to stand out in their family?
The only
Tell
thing
me,
is-
what is that
It
unique
is-
thing?
What I can say.
When you have your mind right, then everything else falls right.
Then why are the men still seeing you as inferior in the different?
It is because
families?
that is what you are told
Come on.
from the very beginning. Culture.
Oh yeah, indeed.
Yes. It is because this is what culture has brought you to begin thinking. If I am to ask you, none of you has your mind that let me let my woman do this, because all of you depend on culture. If culture says I should do this, this is what I am bound to do. You understand?
Personally, let me add on to that. Yesterday, I asked a friend out, a male friend. I was like, let's go for ice cream, and the bill is on me. Do you know what he told me? That is a mockery to my manhood. That is what he told me. And he told me not to do that. And I was like, okay. I first thought about it, but I'm still going back to talk to him about that.
So
He said
men
it's a
believe
mockery.
women cannot do that.
No,
It is
do-
culture.
Simply also
Do
that
you know
we-
why men believe that? Because there are women, when they have the chance to be able to do something, they want to step on the men. Right? If you see, they will want. Let me give an example. If my lady takes me out all the time, I may have the resources, and she also has hers. Then she's like, you know what? Let's go out. Let's do this. You know, time will come when she's going to start stepping on me, because she'll be like, but now. That is why if you find a
That
family,
is for women
listen,
who do not-
listen. That's why if you find a family where the man is not working and the woman is working, that family in most cases, the woman is not respectful to the man at all.
Becomes a matrilineal family.
Yes, it becomes a matrilineal family where the woman does what she wants to do. Her rule is the one that stays. You understand? So that is why at times it is not that we don't want you to do those things, but then the challenge is when we give the women chance to also, take over. Let me give an example. If at all this country of ours gives the women chance to take over, trust me, the men, whoever is listening to me outside there, we shall suffer. Seriously, we shall
Okay.
suffer. Because just look at a simple setup of a family. If the woman is having a lot of resources more than the man, that relationship, it doesn't last. Seriously, the man is going to go and look for some other woman where he can spend on. See, because you women also, we want you people to be empowered.
No,
we
you
want you to, no, seriously. But then the challenge is that when you achieve that empowerment, you want to use that empowerment to step on the men.
She said we don't want that,
You
and yet we are here.
And then we are
Yes, thank you for being here. But one thing I want, women to also understand is like the issue of family is a different case. You understand? I am a Christian and I believe so much in what the Bible tells me. Yes, women submit to your husbands regardless of what you have. You understand? It is not what you have, it is your submission unto your man. Even if you have, let's say, all the estates and the what and the what and the what, your man is your man and he remains a man. You understand? A father of your children. There are some things that men cannot do. There are some things that women cannot do. But economically, there are things that we can all do. You understand? So, family is a different case. I respect what the Bible says so much. Women submit to your husbands. You cannot wake up one day and start, like Apostle Grace one time says that you cannot call your man, Shannon, like call him, okay, there's
Call
some
him
kind
Bobby.
of respect you're
Like
supposed to
your man calls
accord
me
your
Bobby.
man.
That's
Like, you can say,
Call
my
your man
king,
Bobby. That means
my
what?
lord. It
Husband.
is a way of submission. It's a way of submission. That is, I respect what the Bible says. I repeat myself. I respect what the Bible says. If the Bible tells me I submit, I submit. When my man is talking to me, I cannot raise my voice. You understand? I cannot do that because he is the man of the house. The Bible says that children, obey your parents in the Lord, for this is right. Honor your father and mother. It is the first commandment with a promise. You understand? Charity begins from home and it does not end there. You understand? So, whatever you do from your home, and this goes also, okay, women at large, I'm not saying mothers, because even we, the young ones, will soon become mothers. Teach your children what you want them to be. If you want your daughter to be a husband, to scroll at her husband, that means she saw that from you. Yes, that proverb of charity starts from home. That means we look at a mother like how they brought up their children, and we look at that. Does not stop us from looking at women as superheroes.
Mr. Moderator, I just want to tap something very small.
I don't know if it's the same thing I want to also say.
Please
Let's
bring
say
your taps.
women bring up your children. So in other words, you yourself, you want to agree that that's a work for women. Where are
It
the
is
men
not
in this?
entirely for women.
And you're
Let's
blaming the
look
women.
at
I don't know what Sharon was going to say.
I had not yet come there. I was about to say it is
Yes.
not entirely for women. Even fathers have a very big responsibilities on their daughters and sons. It
They
is
have the-
not
they have the
entirely up
greatest.
to them.
They have the greatest.
Yes, yes.
They have the greatest. Let me tell you, there is one thing I want to let these ladies know. That being a husband is not a position. You understand? Where we can also say, because we are talking about gender equality.
Yes.
And when we talk of positions in parliament, we talk of positions in in economic sector, we talk of,
And that is why
You
I say
understand?
family is over different cases.
and that's what I'm saying. Being a husband in a home is not a position. That is a responsibility that a woman cannot take.
Exactly.
You understand? You cannot take up that responsibility. And we have seen these single mothers, by the way, who start to act like they want they want to stand in the gap of a father and the gap of a mother. And you see them breaking, very fast because there are certain responsibilities. We cannot, you cannot start, we cannot start struggling for that position.
So what do you
Because
expect
it
a
is-
single mother to do when there is no...
It is what I'm saying. I'm just saying that them being single mothers, they break them because they are handling positions that are not theirs. You understand? That's what I'm saying. Being a father is a responsibility that once you don't have a father now, like you have no man to act as a father for your children, automatically you take up the position which is no longer yours, and you break down because the stress that comes from it, it's an ordained responsibility from God. You understand? That you a mother or a woman cannot easily just take up and so being a family.
Okay.
Being a family, a man actually has more responsibility of bringing the children in the best way possible. I have seen most women.
Then if it is the responsibility of women, why is it that most men say, your child, like your child has done this, your child has done this? I realize that in most cases, men want to take the privileges of the good things the children do, than those, like when they're supposed to put the children right, they blame the women.
And that's the stereotype we are talking about here. The bias we are talking about here. You understand?
Let me chip in for just 1 minute.
Yes.
Just 1 minute. Earlier on, she said family is different, right? Later on, right now, if we are to look at our discussion, we have zeroed back to what? Family, right? So you find you are a little paradoxical with your point of view. The main reason what we are actually looking at is this now, because when you are in a setup of a family, right? The reason why people say women take much charge of their family is, for instance, I'll leave my place in the morning and I'll have to go for work, right? Who is going to socialize my child to be the way he or she is supposed to be?
Okay, let's
Who?
assume it is
The
equality and we all go for work.
Now that is where we are having these issues of what I think we have seen those different cases where the parents all agree and then say we bring a housemaid. You understand? That is when the child is tortured. That's when they want. So my point is this: if we are looking at socializing the child, let us all do that responsibility. It's not only a responsibility of a man, it's not only a responsibility of a lady, because I also at times burst down in tears. For example, I've seen this happening in very many families. If a child fails in class, the father will come and say, like you have gotten the fullness of what? Of your mother. When that same child passes, alright, fine. When that same child passes, the dad says, like the child has gotten my wisdom, you understand? So my point of view is, let us both agree and we sit down and we socialize our child to be the best of it all. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, the ladies and the gentlemen. The discussion is hot here. Also, the comment section is really fire. If I can read a few, I'm seeing Mr. Okema saying, think is getting back on the issue of marrying younger women. Men marry younger ladies because they grow older very fast and they reach their menopause at just the age of 45. So that's already a natural stereotyping on women, being limited.
Are you blaming God?
I'm trying to bring something out. Anyway, let me continue. But men till death is outlining the imbalance between men and women. So it's advisable to marry a younger lady so that you can fully reproduce. I don't know what he means by this code. We're in a modern society where family planning is anyway. Then
Check Abraham. Abraham has a
Like Sarah gave birth at 90.
like, but how long had it? It was actually divine intervention from God.
Yes,
Otherwise, it wasn't
God
that.
can-
And we should
By
agree
the-
on that field now.
He got another younger.
woman.
Yes.
Get
More.
the other one had already gone, but it was,
So in other words, certain things are
yeah,
God made.
that's what I'm saying. That's
Certain things
divine-
are God made.
divine intervention.
Still, Mr. Okema is advising Rita. Yeah, there's someone, Rita. They stop because even if they work, a man will never see her money, telling the ladies. A man will never see the money a woman works. She will never provide for a man. It's useless for a man.
Your money is your money. My money is our money.
I think we are really back on that. Sometimes you could be even earning more than the man is earning, but still the ladies can't help. So
And they know the day we actually get salary.
I think the issue of stingy men association existed before we knew.
Oh.
That's what I'm trying to say here. And Rita is saying Kameza issue also is a lot. So that is the money. A man is always supposed to leave home. It's mandatory
So
for
that is
a man.
the responsibility he's talking about,
Yes.
about like the husband
We,
responsibility.
we are not complaining about that.
Yes, you're
We
not.
shall
So
give.
why are you talking about the
Kameza shall
Kameza
give.
money and the what and the what?
For the
So-
issue of Kameza, we shall give.
And the issue of Kameza is actually one of the reasons why women go to work, because I think she's trying to mean men are running away from such
It is
responsibility.
because the man is going to leave money for Kameza, she will use it for something else.
Because you know it's given enough.
Now you see, that is what has brought us here.
No, like
Let us be
family.
empowered.
It's actually something else.
You don't give enough, then you divert that thing again to something else.
Something there.
You know, okay, I want you to believe that most women who do that are stay-home mothers, and sometimes it is so hard. I've seen this with my mom. Sometimes it is so hard for her to, let's say, yes, to balance, like to budget. They give you little money, you're not working, and you have to put things together. Like the man has to come back and find things are in place. You understand? It kind of breaks women. So that is why we look at things of gender equality as something that is so important. If my man goes to work and today he's not able to give enough, if I am working, that means that gap can be covered up.
That's a good point.
That's equality, you know.
Yes.
So
You are equal.
we are almost running out of time as we go on. Now I'm just after this discussion, could we try to lay out some of the possible, I'm not going to call it, okay, let me say, stereotyping of women, some of the possible effects. I think the ladies could be understanding this better. Now, by the virtue of being stereotyped by the society, of course, only men can do that. What challenges, what are the negative outcomes that arise, or are they also positive? If they're positive, let us know. But to me, I assume on the negative.
Both sides to every
Every coin
point.
has.
Yeah, okay. I think you'll tell us the positive bit of it, the gentlemen. Let the ladies see how they are affected. I think we shall do that in 2 minutes.
are we looking at disadvantages of inequality?
By the fact that because this inequality still exists, it has been existing and it still
Yes.
exists. So exactly as you say, disadvantage.
How it's affecting us, the ladies in the
Negative,
society.
yes.
Okay. Personally, I always affected by that.
You personally?
Yes, because being the only girl in the family is not. Oh my God. Okay, men tend to think that I cannot do, and for that matter, in most cases, you know how borderman you pass, like there is a WhatsApp status that I saw, and it had bordermen, like a lot of them, and then somebody says the pain of a woman passing by those people, like the pain. Sometimes we lose confidence because that we think if we do that, the men will, okay, the society will. Like if I propose to my man, what will they say?
Going on to the border, what really brings up is you passing by the border.
Yes, like if I pass, like the pain of me personally, if I see like a group of border men, it is very hard for me to pass by them, like to walk near them.
Why?
Because I know you know how funny men tend to be. They start the things like calling you as though you were, yes, if like most men, even in the schools. I've been in a high school, and when you see boys, a lot of boys seated together, your heart beats. You're like, now how do I go there?
Come on, prove them wrong. Prove them wrong.
I thought
No, we
they
need-
do that out of admiration.
Yes, prove them
No.
wrong.
Yes.
Sometimes they want to just make us feel like,
Seriously.
Like bullying.
My
We are
sister,
little.
if you see those
Not
people,
little,
show them that,
but-
bring out, just show them that
no,
you
we
guys-
need men
Come on.
to help us be who we are.
And that
You
is-
understand? From the very beginning, they are told to do what? To think that women cannot be. And that is why they do the things they do, like when you pass by them, you hear men laugh, like, ha ha ha, she has passed. Like, you hear them give you those funny comments, and then you're like, God, if the ground can open and take me.
I thought the society definitely knows that in Africa, a woman, it's only a man to propose to a lady. So these are the things that develop out of such.
No, it is okay for a woman to propose. Like, to me, it is okay.
Yes.
I have seen
It-
women do.
it is
And
okay.
usually men ask, did she die?
I'll
Like,
wait for yours. Because that means you're going that way.
like, men ask, did she die? After proposing, did she die? Like, after giving him the flowers, did she die?
Did she or did he?
Did she die?
So it affects the she or the he.
No, like,
Like,
She-
men want,
who
like,
proposed.
some of them want to see women doing that. But again, if I do that, like, you are waiting for me. You are really waiting for me if I am about to do it. You're looking at me and you're like, you're an African woman. Like, Africa, can we support this thing of gender equality? If a man can propose, like, what is the problem if I propose? If you say he's to provide, and I am also supposed to provide, so what is the issue if I propose? Like, what? So it brings us so much down to understand that the issue of gender equality is not supported by men. Like, yes, I know you're about to say you support it.
Because I don't support you, marry you, proposing to me.
It is okay, like, you're an African.
That is a responsibility that has been put on me.
Okay. It is. As an African, you find it not okay, right?
Not just an African. I think
Yes,
even if I
as
wasn't
an
an African.
African.
Even if I wasn't an African.
If you are
So why do some men shout, did she die? Like, did she?
Because it's not something
Many
normal.
others are
It does not
doing
mean
You
something
see,
normal.
you see,
But it is okay. That is
Yeah,
why
it
it
is
says,
okay, but in the other way around,
as an African, say as an African.
okay, as an
As
African,
culture defines
yes,
it, it is
no,
not
no.
okay.
it is not okay.
no. It's not just being an African. There are also whites find it also not okay with them being
Really?
proposed to. Yes.
I know.
No. It is
Whites
true.
have already
Like,
embraced
it is
it.
okay
course,
for me
no,
to
no.
propose to my man.
Not every man is okay with it. So you can't say it's just
I
an
think
African
and
thing.
men
we move to the next person. I don't
Am I talking too much?
know too much. I want to say,
Actually,
yes.
I think the point is only one. The one of loss of confidence. That is one main thing that is one main disadvantage of all the inequality
I
of
cannot
a woman
become
in a
a leader
society.
because I've lost my confidence.
Yes.
I cannot do this because I've lost my
Mhm.
confidence, and because I think people think
Mm.
men show it to me that yes, you cannot, so I cannot. It's hard for me.
Definitely.
Like for
that
someone who has
confidence
not
is
been
lost.
taught like you from family,
Mhm.
because for me my father was okay with me doing anything. Like, yes, my daughter, you can do this, you can do it. He always supported me in anything. But in a family, you are there, and the men in the family do not give you that, you know, the chance to be who you are. It is hard. It is really hard. You need, like, it has to come from home. This also comes to family. Like, everything begins from home. The issue of gender equality begins from home for men and women to realize that we can be equal. It begins from family. It does not just begin from anybody in the community. It begins from family.
Yes,
That
the
is what
smallest unit.
Exactly.
Okay, community.
Yes.
But I think the family is based on shaping the roles of every gender. That is where it stems from.
Yes.
In our setting, in the African setting, like we are talking about, a man, when he's being groomed, he knows that he has to hunt. He's the provider. He has to hunt. He has to do this, and then their work is just to, you know, sit home, take care of it, cook food, you know, make sure that.
You're talking about the 80s, not the modernized
No.
society.
You are even now. You're groomed in that setting.
not
Tell
that.
me you don't cook at home. You don't.
Yes, I do cook,
You
but
stay
my
at home.
dad
I do
tells
cook.
me I can
My
do what
brothers
he can do
cooked.
and better.
Which
Me
one
at
exactly
home,
that you
I
can do
cook.
better?
My
tells
brothers
me-
cook, and everybody
No.
does everything.
What I'm saying is,
Uh-huh.
let's not forget our roles.
Mhm.
As you a woman and I a man. Don't forget your role.
Cooking is everybody's role.
And that's what I'm
Doing
saying.
the
No.
dishes is everybody's
But
role.
it's a primary role for who?
Everyone.
No.
When you don't have a woman, what do you
You
do?
can't be a
When
primary.
there is
Now
no-
that's an exception you're bringing. That's an exception you're bringing. That if my wife is
maybe-
sick, yes,
like I said,
I cannot chip
I'm
in.
making
Gloria,
everything
cook for you.
easier.
What is the statistic of men doing the dishwork, cooking, and what have you?
Okay, it is more, but I believe because it is from the very beginning of African traditional society that women are supposed to stay home
Yes.
and do such things.
And it's still
That is
continuing.
tradition.
Yes.
But if we can
But in a
embrace
modernized
it today and
society,
make the boy child also do
You
the
realize
same
that
duties,
even
it
if
is
a man and a woman both works in the same house, still the woman comes back and cooks. Isn't it true?
The primary role.
Yes.
We have to.
Me,
we
I
have
want
to
a
acknowledge
man.
that.
Okay, now let me first say
That's
this.
what you want.
I want a man
Yes.
whereby if I do something today,
You don't want. You desire.
I deserve. I deserve.
You desire.
Yes.
Divine intervention.
I deserve a man who can do the cooking when I am not around, even when I am around. Like, he can do it. Why can't he do it?
And that's what.
I deserve a man who can do dishes whether I am there or
Mr.
not.
Moderator, and that's
if
what I'm
I'm
saying.
not around,
It becomes an exception because it is now based on your understanding.
what belongs to
You
me.
understand?
Something cable.
It becomes
Hey, it's the one doing the business.
yes, it becomes your what?
So
The agreement between you and your person. But the primary role, you know it. But it becomes your agreement between you and how you both see
That is what the African society has.
it. It is not.
No, Mr. Moderator, I think if we are to, why are we here? We are here because the ladies there is no way they are going to accept this. That is why we are here. They have come to talk about gender equality. There is no way she's going to accept that her primary role is what? That, right? Earlier on, I'm going to go back to the question you had earlier on asked about, you spoke about lack of confidence, right? But then, what causes a lack of confidence among ladies? What causes that? You'll find it is your attitude towards that particular thing. For example, as I say, if at all you know you can do what a man can do, why would border men speak words and that men, I mean, why would they speak words and those words put you down? Yet you yourself, you know,
I am not
you are able to.
But look at some other girl.
But your point earlier on was said you break down, like you feel like the ground will open up and it's what?
Yes, like I am putting myself in the shoes of other ladies.
So what should be done about
I
that?
am not
Okay, so what advice would you give them to those ladies?
First and foremost, if men are there, I mean up.
Yes.
So could we please have a man hold the lady's hand and bring them to that position?
Yes.
So if
Yes,
you're,
I am willing to put my steps
if you're
up.
passing by a border men, I should come and say, please don't listen to the places.
No, that is
No, you're supposed to educate
That is
them.
something else.
no, like we need.
No. It starts from the change of one's
Thank you.
mind.
Yes.
By the way,
Mindset.
it starts from you. If you say, and now this border man, if I pass there, I'm going to hear a lot of whistles, I'm going to hear a lot of, words, and that thing may not work out. Indeed, when you hear them, they will break you down because in you, you're already defeated in your mind that those people will say this thing, will say this thing. So even if someone just is calling another customer the other, for you, your person, you do like the other one now saying this.
Yes, I think
So maybe can we move on? Are there any
Definitely, this is there.
positive way?
Very much.
To the
They
men.
didn't better than even the
Outline them in the shortest time possible.
In 1909,
Exactly.
what happened?
1909.
The International Women's
Day celebration.
Why was it there? Why did it come in the first place?
And that's why we are here.
Exactly.
So this is an advantage.
That's an advantage because we are recognized and we are fighting for their success. What women have done
Anything else?
Florence in the 1900 in the First World War, she was actually the first woman who was doing helping. She was acting as a Red Cross, helping the injured people, treating them, doing the thing. But there was no man even doing such a thing. So that's the reason why we started recognizing the success of women. Secondly, they are also here talking about women equality because you recognize that those things have actually affected you. And now because of that kind of thing, we have leaders, women leaders, who have come out. We have seen now we have presidents, now we have, prime ministers.
Yes.
And when was, yesterday they were talking, was it, they were holding, was it today? I think so, because the former minister of Tanzania, of Kenya, was actually in Uganda, and today, with the winning Bianyima, they were discussing actually, the success of women and saying many ladies should actually come out and take up these positions, and they're actually powerful ladies that actually men also now look at and say, yeah, we have. Why? It was because of these, these the so-called buyers that they want to come out of it.
So it
They
has
also
actually
Exactly. It is boosting their confidence.
confidence.
You
They are
understand?
administrators,
Because-
secretaries
You
in
see?
an organization.
You can imagine that.
Seriously.
You understand? And it was
Wow.
because of that. Otherwise, if there wasn't that kind of, bias, I don't think there would be such a thing as
Perhaps we need
international.
people now.
Why don't we have International Men's Day? We have too much confidence.
And by the way, in our next discussion,
Yes.
please put men, something connected to men inequality, because it was happening, but that's a story for
Yeah,
another day.
we shall look into that. Thank you so much. Still comments coming in. Here they're saying let's forget the idea of specialization because not everyone is going to do the same things. we do different things to help one another. So he's embracing the diversity in survival.
Yes.
Yes. So it's a primary responsibility of a man to take care of his wife by providing for the family, though a woman can also supplement to the table, as well as men should also cook and clean the house.
Me, I cook.
That is from one of our viewers, Mr. Okema.
I do cook. Right now she's sick, I cook.
Mr. Okema. So as we, before I think before we head into giving the resolutions and conclusions, there's a saying which goes, behind every successful man, there is a woman.
Not just a woman, a good woman.
Wait, let me
Listen,
finish. Talk.
I don't know exactly what kind of woman they are talking about, but we have seen a series of men who have also met great misfortune because of women. I'm going to give the basic examples, some few, like David. Because of a woman, he fell short of his responsibility. We have people like Samson, God ordained man, because of a woman. He lost the strength God gave him. People like Mandela, he reached the point he had to break up with his wife Winnie when he was fighting for freedom. So that is trying to show us that sometimes, I don't know what he's trying to bring. If we can see the richest man now in the world, that is Elon Musk. He has had a series of divorce. Then I'm still thinking they're saying behind every successful man there's a woman. So these events that have happened, what is it trying to tell us? I don't know if you have any take on that.
Moderator.
Yes.
I would want to align my thinking that with that saying that behind every successful man there is a woman, a good woman.
A good woman.
Now,
You're modifying the statement.
yeah, exactly. Me, I want to say it's a good woman because Delilah, like you said, wasn't a good woman. That wasn't a good woman.
True.
Yeah, that wasn't a good woman. Now, when you talk about success, they were, to me, I would want to think that it was meant to mean the success of marriage. To me,
Behind every man.
every successful
There is
man, I
marriage
would want
success.
exactly. Me, that's why I would want to
So
align my
does it
thinking.
mean that in the political, economical, and other aspect, the ladies are actually a poison to eat?
That's no.
Not
Me, what I'm saying is,
according to what he's trying to
what
say.
I'm saying is,
Yes.
for me to be called a man, there must be a woman. You understand?
Okay.
There must be a woman that I have put in a house. Eh? If I am able to successfully handle my affairs in my home without
Woman.
exactly with the woman,
Yes.
that is a success that everyone celebrates. You can have the best political career, but if your home
It's weak.
is weak, you will not actually be called a successful man. Like you've just stated here, Mr. Mandela.
Yes.
He had all the success in everything, but the home broke. We don't count that as a success because now he succeeded in the political arena, yes, but there was no woman behind him. But he succeeded. But we are talking about the home. If I am able to cultivate my family and my children come out to emulate what I have also achieved, and they're emulating it exactly the way I have taught them, with besides my woman, then I can now say I am a successful man.
That is
That's
your
what I
word.
say.
Say. I don't know what. I see she has something.
Okay, like the Bible
Yes.
created a woman for a man, and the Bible says that God created a suitable helper for a man.
Yeah.
So if there is a suitable helper for you, why wouldn't you be? Yes. And if that person is suitable enough, that means that person is suitable. That means that person is about, or that person is, it's a must that that person is going to submit to her husband. And you know, when submission comes in, it is a whole lot of positivities.
So, can I just add
Someone
something
is
small?
saying, thanks for the show. I love the women, they are actually looking awesome. That's
Thank
Wow.
you.
Oh, but what about us? Was that male?
Oh man.
It's a lady commenting.
A lady's comment? Oh,
Thank you, darling. It's humble.
Don't worry, they will also meet.
So now, I think our time is not good. So can we?
I just want to tap something very small on what you said.
What do you want to type? Sorry, to tap.
What I was trying to say in reference to what she was quoting the Bible about a good woman. That is probably what, 31?
Proverbs 31.
31 actually gives us the best description of what a good woman is supposed to be. And if you have that woman by that reference, then you will not have, you will just have sleepless nights that you will not have a wish to wake up every morning. So if we could put that into reference, that is to me is the best description of what a good woman is. And if I get that behind me, I think also I'll now I think I will, you know, be the richest man more than Solomon.
Hope being rich more than Solomon, you won't go with all those women.
I said a woman.
Okay, so thank you so much. Right about now, we are going to head towards the conclusion of our discussion. So, looking at this, ladies and gentlemen, what do you recommend to be done to actually improve on the state at which the gender equality has got? Because to me, it seems something is still lacking. There's still a gap. It's not yet really balanced. So, what are your recommendations? Ladies, always first for this case. As I said, what do you feel the society, the world, the nation should do for you in order to uplift the equality?
Okay, like if you want somebody to do for you something, that means you personally have to first bring yourself to that thing. So if you want equality, first bring yourself to equality as a woman. And then also, we are looking as men and we want equality. We are not going to look at women being husband beaters because they want equality. We are not looking at women be not providers because they want. We want to have equality, but we do not want to bring ourselves to equality. So I want us to first, as women, first bring ourselves to equality before we ask men or the society to bring us there, to take us, to accept us. You understand? So, and then also, we also pray that men support us with the equality bit of it. With equality. If I have accepted, I want to be there. I want to be equal with a man. Let them also accept me, because it is very, very hard. I want to be a leader in a society, and the men there cannot look at me as a portable. A what? Like an able leader. So let men stroke the society, accept us as we have also accepted this thing. Accepted this thing. Yes.
I think the other is also going back to the family. Let's have everyone in the family playing a role in this. For example, the men and the women, moms and dads out there, let's all create that ground for our children. Nurture them in that mind of seeing a woman as equal to a man. Raise them to do what raise your female children to do what your male children can do. Don't specify their duties, because it will definitely spread to the community. But then when we see that we are nurtured properly from home, definitely we'll become equal in the mindset.
Yes, thank you so much. The gents,
All right, you know, I feel so melancholic and I feel so bad if I reach down in a family and I find a husband and a wife fighting in front of children. In every family, disagreements are there. There is no perfect relationship. But then, sincerely, why would you have to expose that in front of your child? Can't you go in your bedroom and handle your issues from there? Because this child you are looking at, that is already the mindset. Oh, what am I trying to look at? Let us tame the mind where we are right now. But all that starts with the primary source of socialization, which is the what? The family. Right? Then also, women who are out there, please, let's realize the potential that we have in us. If you feel you are being undermined and underlooked, don't, if possible, don't wait for this man to come and pick you up. Realize your potential. Come up. I mean, come up, stand up. Do something for yourself that is, in the end of it all, going to be able to push you harder, aside that they can be able to see you as what? As someone in the what? In the community that we are purposely doing what? Looking at. Of course, support is one thing that should always be there in the different families. This also goes to the women who are there. Please support your men also. Support them, yes. There is no way a man is going to stay with you from January to December and is going to provide, and for you, you know, you're just there. Even though you are a housewife, a housewife, there are some housewives who save, by the way. But then now, whatever that you have saved from that small man, in the end of it all, can't you surprise your husband and be like, you know what, today let me buy this. You understand?
Yes.
That is also one other thing. So I'm going to conclude by saying, in order for us, let us move away from the theoretical aspect, because we have spoken a lot now. But then what is the practical thing? Council, let us leave the issues of law, you know, bring the law coming on ground, Simanya, liberty, Article 23, Article 10, freedom of, you know, expression. Let's leave all that. Let's look at what is the practical bit of it right now. How are we going to empower the women to stand up and to be able to realize who they are and to be able to stand and represent in the different institutions? I end by saying, women and men, we are equal, yes. One last thing I'm going to say, Agata Lekeka. One last thing I'm going to say, the women out there, right? You are not equal to men, right? You are not equal to men, but you can do what men can do, but you're not equal. Thank you.
I am not copying somebody's statement.
That is it. I have brought it out because I love it. You are not equal to men, that is true, but you can do what men can do. That's one thing I can say. Council, you can pick up from there.
You don't just speak Uganda.
Come on. When you are discussing about gender inequality, Luganda comes in. Come on.
I found it hard to actually comprehend what I was talking about. I didn't actually hear like a word that I could actually understand. I was thinking of, I was opening my dictionary, but it wasn't bringing anything. But anyway, it is very true that, like he has been commenting, that the law has actually marginalized this process of equality, because there are certain acts that actually have been promulgated, just, you know, it just marginalized, like the miniskirt and the pornography whatever act. You understand? That act alone was actually, to me, marginalized the women most, because everything about it was just talking about how bad, you know, when a lady puts on, you know, this thing, and she is, you know, she has caused sexual harassment to the man. So a lot of things, but I would suggest that if the legislators are maybe listening, they could actually change the language that they use in the promulgation of these acts. And second of all, also, you know, in our courts of law, there has also been incidences where perpetrators of certain acts go free because, you know, the women, you know, when it goes to certain acts, certain crimes, the women's character, once it is brought into, you know, into play, they are actually, the perpetrator goes scot-free because certain character of women just disapproves whatever they are reporting to the. But also, I want to also give this example. I mean, this standard. Also, we have women activists around. They should actually sensitize women. Sensitization is actually, I think it's the best way because it is one is going to start shaping the mindset of people. I think we should have organizations that go deep in the villages, in the down settings, to try to teach women the rights. But also, I beg women, once you are being taught by these rights, don't misuse them. Because, like you say, submission is the only key. I can accept a woman to say you're equal in certain area, but I will not actually, me as a man, accept disrespect. It is not acceptable. You'll be charged with slaps for nothing. So let's understand where our limits. Me as a person, I have my limits to where my responsibility also ends. You also have a limit to where your responsibility ends. Once you cross your line, you have misused everything. You understand? So as we discuss equality, let's not forget that we have limits. That comes with the understanding of who you are and what your roles are. So, as I conclude, equality is actually the soul of liberty. So once we are all equal, we are all at liberty, because we know what we do, we know your roles, I know my roles, we are all responsible. That is where we become at liberty. We are free. But if you do not know what your responsibility is, then that's where now, the other person tries to step ahead of you because he sees there is a gap that is not being fulfilled, is not being filled. Then once the person crosses to the other border, he has stepped to this one. So there must be a balance of things so that we walk at the same pace.
Yes, thank you so much. Mr. Omar Daniel, you have a reply.
Okay.
To the comment you made last, women we cannot be equal, but women can also. She's saying men should also learn to appreciate what you have. I don't know what she meant by that, but that's just from one of our active viewer who has been on. She's Ruta Kirone. Thank you so much. Also appreciation goes to Kektil. Yeah, thank you for this space and your representatives for this day. As we have reached at the end of our discussion today, I think let me give each and everyone give us a conclusive statement. Maybe if you want to add something small, but in a very limited time, or maybe send out greetings or send out messages to our viewers who are online right now. Please, you have the privilege. Thank you. I'll begin with the next thing, right?
Thank you so much. To wrap up everything, this is our main topic of today is about gender equality. So let's look forward to expanding this in Africa because we are based in Africa. When you look at the Western world, they have already embraced this. We have seen ladies doing what men are doing, but the problem is the African setting. Let's give it our best and change the African setting and bring women back to equality and bring women to equality. Let's empower them to do what men can do. Let's provide financial support to our families. Let's love our men. Besides, also stay in your lane. The same thing. It doesn't mean that you go out of the line. So let's all do the same thing as we raise women. Let's embrace the equality that we have, and we, yeah, we socialize, we become happy.
Yes.
Thank you so much, dear viewers, for your time, for your data. Yeah, we are so much humbled for the comments too. Yeah, I remain Gloria, aka Miss Original, and yeah, equality is the goal, just like heaven is. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I think in a nutshell, and to just conclude everything, let's just act together, both women and men, to ensure that equality prevails in our different settings. But remember, all this starts from you as a person. All this starts from your family for it to be able to come out and to be able to reach to the different masses. So thank you so much, Cake Till, for this opportunity, and thank you so much, Space Media, for this session that we have had. I'm sure this is just an icebreaker. We have other different times that we are going to be invited to come and discuss more and more and more, right? So thank you all so much, and I pray may the Lord God bless you all, and happy Women's Day to all of you. Thank you all.
So I just want to say that it has been an interesting topic. It has really opened our understanding and our mind also to hear ladies speak, certain secrets that we men also didn't know. Ladies, thank you also for opening up, to letting us know also what pains you and what really affects you in the society. And we also want to thank Space Media for bringing up this topic, because it is such a sensitive topic that we really have to bring it, to discuss it and bring people to a realization that everyone is equal. Like the other person said, that women cannot, I think it was Okema, who said that equality can be attained, right? Wasn't it the one?
Not it's Rita.
Yes, Rita said that equality can be attained, and I concur with her. Equality can be attained, but it can only be attained if we the people, we the mothers, the fathers, the children, understand what our roles are, because that is where everything is actually under question. So I would like to also say that women are supposed to, go to school. If I can get a degree, I can get a master's, they can also do the same thing. So let's not marginalize the women, let's not give them a limit, and they can actually act more better than certain men. We have seen ladies actually perform better than the men, and I want to thank the government of Uganda, because right now, if you go into the census and count how many ladies are actually at school, you find more ladies at school than men. So, you understand? Now the men, instead of going to school, they are the people now running businesses. They are money-minded. Yeah? They are money-minded. So, I would like to thank also the government of Uganda for that initiative. And above all, I would like to thank also the people under camera, those who also do a great job. We want to thank them also for endeavoring to make this day a success. And I want to thank the moderator. Next time, we shall be really humbled and pleasured if we are recalled back to discuss these issues of national importance. So thank you so much. Until next time.
Yes, thank you so much, everyone in the building. It has been quite an interesting discussion, and at least with the comment that has been coming online, yeah, people really loved it. And Rita, Keroni, Okema, Chris, and Johnson, want to say thank you so much for being active viewers and participating. We encourage you to, if you still have more, keep the comments coming. We shall respond to it even if you're offline, and we can still have suggestions. You can bring in your suggestions, any topic you feel like, and we shall be pleased to invite you also join us next time on the panel as we discuss these issues. Thank you so much. As we are heading to closure of our discussion, I want to begin by sending my prayers to the people in Russia and Ukraine. I know it's such a hard moment both countries are going through, but our prayer, we pray, is that things come to an end and we get back to the normal. War is not the way to go. There are peaceful ways of achieving certain things in this world. The hard way is not the only way. There are other ways that can be created. Thank you so much. Then the same goes to the students of Chambogo. Tomorrow we're having election. I ask it to be a peaceful election. Let not issues of tear gas, people losing life, not be there. These are events that comes times and times, and if you keep on losing life, it really won't matter. To conclude with, I give my appreciation to the ladies in the building. Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and being part of us and sacrificing whatever you had to do today for this place. We are pleasured. Send our appreciation to Kektil for also the space and assistance given unto us. As usual, we are here for a good time. Space Media. See you next time for the next discussion. Thank you so much.